皆さんおはようございます。昨日は一日お疲れ様でした。今日は午前中のフレッシュなうちに総括セッションをやりたいと思いますのでよろしくお願いします。オンラインの方もいらっしゃいますので、改めてご紹介させていただきますが、私は本日も司会を務めさせていただきます外務省人物交流室長の渡辺真二と申します。よろしくお願いいたします。これから2日目の総括セッションを開始したいと思いますが、オンラインで視聴されている方々は Zoom 上で英語の同時通訳の音声を聞くことができますので、英語でのご視聴ご希望の方は画面上の通訳ボタンで音声を切り替えるようお願いいたします。それではオンラインの方の中には、昨日の会議をご覧いただけなかった方もおられると思いますので、東京での会議の参加者の方を、14人アルファベット順に改めて紹介させていただきたいと思います。まずアルゼンチンのクリスタンさん、オーストラリアのジェイソンさん、バングラデシュのコルシェドさん、ブラジルのパウラさん、カナダのナタリアさん、コロンビアのマウリシオさん、インドのアショクさん、メキシコのルイサさん、ニュージーランドのポールさん、パプアニューギニアのオンボさん、ソロモンのリンドンさん、トゥルクメニスタンのメルダンさん、アメリカのジョンさん、そしてウズベキスタンのダミラさん、以上の14人の方が対面でご参加される方々です。オンラインではアジア、オセアニア、北米、中南米、中東、そしてアフリカからも視聴登録いただいております。時差もある中ご参加いただき誠にありがとうございます。昨日の会議では地域レベルでの取り組み、留学生のサポート、留学広報、各国の特徴的な取り組みや課題、これら4つのテーマについて議論しました。その後オンラインでは配信しませんでしたが、地域別に3つのグループに分かれて各地域での連携の可能性などについて議論いたしました。それらの議論を踏まえて各地域各国における今後のアクションについて対面参加の14カ国からそれぞれ発言していただきたいと思います。まずはアジア地域、はじめに発表いただくのはバングラデシュのコルシェドさん、インドのアショクさん、トゥルクメニスタンのメルダンさん、ウズベキスタンのダミラさんの4人の方々です。これらの方々の発言が終わった後に質疑応答を行いたいと思います。それではまずバングラデシュのコルシェドさん、よろしくお願いいたします。
はい、おはようございます。Thank you very much. Yes, last 2 days we discussed on the different issues, but in different way, but it's a common issue. How we can improve the Japanese language and culture in our countries. And on discussing, we got information that what the problems we are facing and what we are doing. In my case, we can say that at present in Bangladesh, we are informing the students up to the university level. But I think in future, someday in future, we'll go to the more lower level, like technical college, polytechnic college, and also in the high school level, to inform them about the Japanese language, culture, and the education facilities and way of how they can pursue their higher education in Japan. And this way we can improve ourselves in my countries. And on the other hand, definitely in the different region, we got the information. What they're doing, we'll accommodate it in our policies and to improve this situation. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。それでは次にインドのアショクさん、お願いいたします。
Thank you so much. It has been a very enriching interaction. We have learned a lot, shared a lot of experiences. I would focus on two issues. One is the regional dimension that we heard yesterday. And for me, this regional dimension, expansion of the regional dimension is important, not only across India, but within India. Because I think we have had very good examples of how do you involve local bodies into our work. Though we are Alumni Association of Japan, but like-minded organizations also exist. And I think some of the examples that I heard yesterday and day before, it looks very important that we should now connect with like-minded organizations in other parts of the country, especially the local chapters. If we can create, that would be a very important next step for all of us. The other point which I learned, very important point, was how do you go up to the school level, the polytechnic, the schools and so on, and that has been, if I may admit, a weak point for us. We have been concentrating more on universities, but I think the next step, we should try to expand our reach to schools, because I'm happy that with some of our initiatives, we have been able to start Japanese language in higher secondary. But I think we have to follow up on that. The school students have started learning Japanese, but then I think we need to gradually sort of sensitize them for higher studies in Japan. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
はい、アショクさんありがとうございました。それでは次に、トゥルクメニスタンのメルダンさんよろしくお願いします。
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank each and every participant to this wonderful session or seminar. I suppose that since we are pretty new in this by opening our organization or the association recently, I see that many of the participants are at a different level with a different intensity in their integration and in their execution of the activities. And since I could hear everyone, I could hear the operations of each and every person, participants here, and I could learn many things in terms of setting up, in terms of the organizational structure and the various activities that they do and how they penetrate, and what are the challenges that they meet on the local as well as regional level. And I'm also I also came to learn that we have to have a clear idea about the objective of the organization, and we have to formulate precisely what do we want from the organization and how can we help the next alumnus and the prospective students and what they can expect in their return, after completing their graduation, how to support them. And I hope also we will grow into a bigger organization, just in the Latin America, just in South Asia, Southeast Asia, that they're trying to come up with. So from my side, that is all. Thank you.
メルダンさんありがとうございました。それでは次にウズベキスタンのダミラさんよろしくお願いします。
皆さんおはようございます。Good morning, everyone. I think this conference gave us a great chance to know about different cultural activities, about our alumni club activities all around the world in different countries. For me, each presentation was so inspiring, and I learned many things from each of you. And I would like to say, I was really inspired by the Argentina and Bangladesh. They have cultural clubs. I never heard about that. And, after coming back to Uzbekistan, I would like to propose, if it's possible, the Embassy of Japan in Uzbekistan to think about that, opportunity to make a cultural club, because we have so many students, we have so many people who are interested in studying Japan and also studying Japanese and, Japanese culture. And we have several not clubs, it's like courses where they can learn Japanese, but not Japanese culture. So yes, that's really inspired me. And also I was amazed by the work done by the Alumni Club in Solomon Island. I think that's a huge support for students, what they are doing in terms of studying in Japan. And that's a great idea also to propose to our alumni club if they will, if they can arrange their time to give to make the kind of support for students who want to study in Japan. Thank you very much for all of you. I think, I hope that, all of us knew something from this conference and can apply that in the near future. Thank you very much.
はい、ありがとうございました。それでは、オンラインの参加者の方々も交えた質疑応答に移りたいと思います。まずオンラインの、参加者の方からの質問を読み上げたいと思います。お願いします。
コロンビアに在住のイタリア人の方です。クリスチャーノ・ジョルダーニさんという方からの質問です。ちょっと今までの発言とは少し離れてしまうんですけれども、英語で読み上げます。I got a PhD in 2007 from Kyoto University founded by Monbu Kagakusho. Now I'm full professor in physics in Colombia at University of Antioquia, Medellin, Colombia. My nationality is Italian. I think it would be great to have the opportunity to have interactions with Japanese professors to create collaboration and inter-exchanges of students and professors.
はい、日本の大学と交流をしたいという質問で今発表いただいたお話と直接関わりはないかもしれませんが、皆さんのこれまでのご経験、それから日本との交流を踏まえて、こちらの質問に対してお答えしていただける方はいらっしゃいますか？はい、お願いします。
Thank you for your question. I would like to reply to it, telling you that Tsukuba University in South America holds every year like a Japanese university feria. So you can participate in that feria and try to get contact to many universities in Japan. There are also professors in Japan available in those ferias that will tell you about what majors they have in their universities and how can you try to apply for scholarships or for those programs. I think that will be the best way to get in contact with Japanese universities. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。はい、お願いします。
Yes, thank you. Actually, in Colombia, we're working with I just mentioned before, we are working with the Sakura Science Exchange Program, and that involves universities in Colombia. And his university has not been included yet, but we plan to go to a second and fourth round of involvement, and we might work together with the association. This program of Sakura Exchange program has been in most of the cases in charge of the association. So ACOGE has been working with the universities in Japan and working with the universities in Colombia to make those exchanges possible. And it involves professors, of course. So it might be a good idea to work together and try to involve Universidad de Antioquia, which is the university that he mentioned, to see the possibilities to make exchange programs within the two countries.
ありがとうございました。他にご意見、コメント、もしありましたら。
I just wanted to add that Japan Foundation, they also have several programs, and as I know, once in a year, they open program for the researchers. If you want to conduct research with Japanese sciences, I think they have some information there. You can check in their website.
ありがとうございます。大変貴重なアドバイスだったと思います。他にありますか？よろしいでしょうか。こういった質問が出て、今お答えしていただきましたけど、これを機会に、特にコロンビアでは、プログラムもあるということですので、ぜひぜひそういった枠組みの中に一緒に入っていただいて、日本との協力関係を拡大していただければと思います。それではオンラインの方から質問ではありませんがコメントがあるそうですので、読み上げてもらいます。
最初の2つコメントがありまして、1つ目はスリランカのサジーブさんからです。We have a sister link between Niigata University and Peradeniya University sister link for the last 20 years. It has been a very rewarding experience with over 350 bilateral visits of students, staff, researchers, collaborations, and administrative staff. Training very useful. もう一つのコメントはメキシコからです。メキシコのフランシスコさんからです。英語で読み上げます。As an additional comment about the academic collaboration, Mexico is already promoting the Mexico-Japan Rectors Summit to promote the approach between universities for academic and research collaboration. AMEF, Association of Japan Alumni in Mexico, is being invited to participate this year, and there are several members that know how to trigger these approaches. This might be an effort of government and the association and the embassy and consulates.
はい、ありがとうございました。それでは、こちら会場の方で、先ほど発表いただいた方に対してご質問、コメントあればお願いします。特にないようでしたら、次へ進みたいと思います。はい、リンダさんお願いします。
Thank you very much. I think I would just like to share some experiences that we have in Solomon Islands. Some of the collaborations we have between professors in Japan and Solomon Islands is that professors who did the PhD studies in Solomon Islands, they normally come back to Solomon Islands frequently for research and collaboration with us. I'm currently working at the Solomon Island National University. So last year we with the professors around universities in Japan, led by one of the professors serving in Kyoto University, we had a seminar where we discussed about issues within the Pacific region and Japan as well. Those are some of the collaborative activities that we do. We work very closely with the Japanese embassy in Solomon Islands as well. So the embassy helped us to link back to the universities in Japan. So we are in a process of finalizing MOU with Kyoto University. And we are also in discussion with Kagoshima University as well, where I graduate from, because we plan to establish Center of Excellence in Fisheries, because Pacific Ocean is so large, and we want to utilize that as a unique opportunity for Japan and Solomon Islands to prosper in, and as well as everybody in the world can also benefit out from that collaboration. So you can start collaborating with back to your professors who supervise you or your previous university. You can contact them, especially the office of the International Students Office. They can help you as well. So those are the things that I would like to add in this kind of topic. Thank you so much.
リンドさんありがとうございました。オンライン上にもう一問質問が書き込まれていますので読み上げたいと思います。
ガボンのナタリーさんからというのコメントというか質問です。I would like to know if we can have a space for publications where we can share research work between different associations and Japanese universities.
どなたかお願いします。まずじゃあパウラさんお願いします。
I think that it's going to be, it would be very interesting if we have a platform for all the alumni associations together with maybe Maxt or Gaimosho, where we can concentrate, because I think that the number of articles would not be enough, for example, to have a scientific how do you say, our own publication for each alumni association or for each region. The reason is very simple. It's because usually when you are a researcher and you are inside the academic world, then you are searching also for points for your CV. And to get like very cited, this article usually goes for very famous places, so I don't think that many people would like to publish their articles with us. But yes, I think that it's important if we open a space for those who would like to do.
はい、ありがとうございます。ナタリアさんお願いします。
はい、私はダミラさんに一つご質問がありますけれども、ダミラさんのご発表には、ウズベキスタンには日本語を勉強したい、日本語に興味を持っている人が多いというふうにおっしゃいましたけれども、その背景には何か特別な理由というのがありますでしょうか。つまり、日本政府から強いメッセージがありまして、その興味が湧いたとか、それからそれともウズベキスタンの政府か何か組織からこのような活動があるからとか、何か理由がありましたら教えていただければ。ありがとうございます。
はい、ご質問ありがとうございます。で、実はウズベキスタンと日本との外交関係は外交関係だけではなくて、いろいろな分野でのですね、関係はもう本当に発展していて、もう30年周をですね、迎えました。で、ウズベキスタンでは もちろん日本語に興味を持つようになったですね、理由は多分人によって違うと思いますけど、もちろんアニメとかですね、その漫画をきっかけに、日本についていろいろ調べるようになりましたとかですね、そういう学生もいるし、人もいるし、やっぱりですね、大使館もですね、結構、日本文化を紹介するイベントを開催しているので、全く日本語を知らない、日本文化について聞いたこともないですね。人も、子供と一緒にですね、来て、で、そこから、面白いな、ですね、日本について、なんかもっと調べたいとかですね、日本へ行きたい。と、旅行したい。最近はですね、旅行者の数がすごく増えています。だからそういろいろなパターンからですね、日本について興味を持つようになって、あと日本企業もですね、ウズベキスタンにあるので、やっぱり日本企業で働きたい。で、そのために何が必要ですか？日本語を学ぶことは。あと、やっぱり友達から先輩から日本に留学している学生からもいろいろですね、お話があって、いつか私も日本で、日本の教育が、やっぱり質がいいとかですね、そういうお話はいろいろあるから、だから最近はですね、日本語で、日本語を勉強したい学生の数がどんどん増えています。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
はい、ありがとうございました。他にご質問はありますでしょうか？それでは、次へ移りたいと思います。次は、太陽州からの発表に移ります。発表いただくのは、オーストラリアのジェイソンさん、ニュージーランドのポールさん、パプアニューギニアのオンボさん、そしてソロモンのリンドさんの4人の方々です。すべての発言終わった後に質疑応答をやりたいと思います。それでは、オーストラリアのジェイソンさん、よろしくお願いします。
Good morning, everyone. I think I would like to divide my remarks into two parts. One is kind of my general impressions gained throughout our time together, and the second is お願いしたいこと. So, two parts. So, I've been kind of in awe, surrounded by all of you. Especially when I think that everyone here has a very busy professional life that you're leading, in addition to your personal lives, of course. Nonetheless, everyone is here and everyone is bringing to this occasion all of this wonderful energy. And something that I was very happy to hear is that our time, is that this is all being driven by a sense of dedication and appreciation toward Japan. And this sentiment was shared by a number of people yesterday. And it's amazing to be surrounded by people who have this same sentiment that I have. I know that our time together here is not yet over, but please allow me just to say that it has been an honor to have been given this opportunity by the Japanese government. You keep giving us these wonderful opportunities. You've given us scholarships. You've allowed us to be educated at Japanese institutions, which has fundamentally changed our lives. And you've brought us here and given us this wonderful opportunity to give back, which is something that we all want to do. So that is an honor, but it has also been an honor to be able to share this time with everyone here. I feel like I can leave with a sense of what we would like to accomplish on a more local level. Having said that, and this is connected to our exchange session yesterday, which we'll have a chance to talk a bit about later, I suppose. ちょっと、日本語にチェンジします。非常に有意義な、交流セッションとなりました。去年、第1回太陽州オンライン、交流会を行いましたけれども、一度だけでは物足りないっていうか、もったいない、ような気がします。そこでぜひぜひ、第2回の太陽州オンライン、交流会を実施する、機会を、設けていただければ幸いです。太陽州のグループに、入っているけれども、今回の第4回帰国留学生総会には参加できないメンバーも、いますので、第2回の、太陽州オンライン交流会を行うことによって、ここで学んだことを他のメンバーと、シェアできます。ぜひ、その機会を設けていただければ、ありがたいな。幸いです。どうもありがとうございます。
ジェイソンさんありがとうございました。2点目のリクエストの方につきましては、これは第1回の交流会には私も一部だけですけど参加させていただいて、それで今回その第2回を開催したいという意欲を示していただいたことに大変嬉しく思います。私たちも各地域で昨日も議論していただきましたけれど、それぞれ交流会もしくはこういった総会を開催できるようになっていただきたいなと思いまして、今までいろいろな形で太陽州であったり中南米であったりご協力させていただいております。それでもしまたやりたいというご希望があれば、ぜひぜひご協力させていただきたいと思いますが、これはいずれは自立してやっていただいた方が、それぞれの、会の活動においても自分たちのイニシアティブで、進めていただけるようになることが重要だと思いますので、そういった形で自立して、やっていただけるように私たちもサポート、したいと思います。それで、各地域で、やりたいこと、考えられていることは違うと思いますので、それに、合わせて交流会ないし、会議をやっていただければいいと思いますけれど、政府がそのサポートしないと成り立たないというのでは、いずれ続かなくなると思いますので、サステナブルなものにしていくためには、ぜひ各地域でこういったことをやりたいんですという、提案をしていただいて、それに対して私たちができるところをサポートさせていただくという形で進めれば、長く続くような形で、協力できると思いますので、また議論、できればと思います。ありがとうございます。それでは、次にニュージーランドのポールさんよろしくお願いします。
ありがとうございます。皆さんおはようございます。じゃあ最初日本語で話させていただきます。その後はちょっと英語で、最後の言葉を言います。まずはじめにこの第4回帰国留学生総会に参加させていただきましてありがとうございます。皆さんの話をお聞きしまして、とっても勉強になりました。いいアイディアをたくさん聞きまして、今はもっと頑張りたい気持ちが強くあります。ニュージーランドに帰ってから。アイディアとして、例えば将来の、優秀な奨学金候補者を集めるために、高等学校までに、行かなければなりません。そして、オークランド支部の組織もとっても大事です。若者も含めてリフレッシュしなければなりません。 でも、一番印象的なことは、皆さんの話を聞いて、どんなぐらい皆さんがボランティアとして頑張っていらっしゃるのは素晴らしいなと思います。それで、自分もニュージーランドに帰って頑張りたいと思います。私はもうそろそろ退職しますけれども、これから、ニュージーランド、文部科学省、留学生会のオークランド支部のため、できるだけ、何があれば頑張りたいと思います。ありがとうございます。So just a few things in English, if I may. I've talked to a number of the people here, and one of the things that I feel strongly I feel other people have the same feeling, and for me, a lot of what is really good in my life came from my experiences in Japan, and in speaking to others over the last few days, I think many of us feel the same thing. We are really honoured to have had the opportunity to study and learn in Japan. Going forward, I think the challenge for us in our countries is to ensure that we get the top quality potential students in our countries to apply for the scholarships. Part of that is the awareness and the PR things we've talked about, and part of that is finding a way to explain to the young people in our countries that Japan is it's not just cool Japan. Cool Japan is very cool. Young people love that, but there are really, truly great opportunities here for careers and life, and for educational learning. So I think that I'll go back, and I'm very keen to speak to the people at the Consul General in Auckland and try and do what I can do to help, and everyone's enthusiasm has really inspired me, so I'm very grateful for that. So thank you very much for the invitation to come here. Appreciate it. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。それでは次に、パパニューギニアの本坊さん、よろしくお願いします。
Right, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I'll also maybe speak in Japanese and English, or English and Japanese, so よろしくお願いします。Yes. What I could say was is that we coming and attending this fourth Japan Alumni Association is really worthy. I know we've had the first, second, and then the third was on online presentation because of the COVID. But lucky that this time we had this the fourth one. The third one was of course presentation, and then this fourth one on a live presentation inviting 14 countries, and we're coming here and we're discussing our activities that we are implementing in our respective Dosokai's alumni associations in our countries. It's really good to present and hear about. It's very interesting, and it's really worthy. It's really worthy that some of these activities that we are implementing are the same, or some of them are more or less the same, or some of them are completely new altogether. And this is it's good for us to know that, and we can implement this when we get back home to our respective associations, and then implement them. And one of them that I can really think of right now is from Dr. Alam's Bangladeshi speech contest. Of course, we're having a speech contest, Japanese speech contest in our respective countries, but we never thought about speech contest in our own respective languages to the to the Japanese community living in our respective countries. And I'm looking forward for that. Yeah, when I get back home, probably give a speech contest to the Japanese living in my country in English, and of course in Tok Pisin or Tok Pidgin, where this is a Creole. Creole. If I can speak my Pidgin in Papua New Guinea, if I go to Equatorial Guinea, we can understand each other. Somewhere in the Caribbean, and of course, Solomon Islands also, they speak Tok Pisin, and in Vanuatu, they call it Bislamabad. It's a dialect of the Tok Pisin, so we can give speech contests to the Japanese community living there in this Tok Pisin and see how well they can speak our language. Of course, we will also be participating in our Japanese language speech contests as well. And going on down the line, yes, more or less it has been said, but I would like to mention it again, is that we're doing this thing from heart to heart, during, working, assisting in volunteerism, and this is really good. Sometimes, yes, we come and have, headaches and so forth, but at the back of our minds, yes, we're doing these activities through volunteerism, and it is, as I mentioned yesterday, giving back to Japan, saying thank you to Japan for what you have done in our respective years, at our respective universities, that we have come and lived in this country and learned a lot from Japan, both inside the classroom and outside the classroom. And it was all under your people's expense. And when we get back to our countries, we would like to say thank you by implementing our Dosoka activities and appreciating what you have given to us. So, but yes, some of us, most of us, we're doing from on that level, and we would like to give all our time and effort to it. But of course, we must also bear in mind that because of some, for our own, some small, hiccups, headaches, like, working out of the region, communication problems, so forth, gives us the hindrance where we do not participate. But majority of us, we would like to assist along. And finally, of course, to what we can like to say, ask or so. Of course, Mr. Jason has already mentioned about our Pacific online presentation. But going back to our respective associations, as I have mentioned in my presentation yesterday, is on the item number 2, and I've got bullet points 5, 7, and 8, which I have mentioned in it. So if you can look into, and I do not expect you to come, let's say, 100% to assisting on that, but to some level, to some standard. Of course, that doesn't mean that I will be also be asking, assistance from my home country as well too. I have to ask my country to help myself. Yeah. And that is all I have to present, and I'd like to thank you all for that. Thank you.
はい、ありがとうございました。それでは次にソロモンの林野さん、よろしくお願いします。
皆さんおはようございます。I will speak in English only. First, I would like to say thank you to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for this opportunity to bringing me all the way from Solomon Islands to Japan to be reunited after 2 years and a half. I left Japan and went back to Solomon Islands, and it's really nice to be back here in Japan. I think I spent almost like a decade long years in Japan. It really molded me into someone special, I could say, that I can able to contribute or give back to the people in Solomon Islands as well. So thank you so much for this opportunity to come over and sit down here and we discuss as well. I would like to thank all of you, my colleagues here from different countries around the world. You shared your experiences. I really learned a lot. Of course, we have our own challenges, but one thing that I noticed is that we have the similar common denominator where I can say that like we want to promote Japan in the global level as well, and at the same time I could say that it's a kind of a way of bringing peace to the world as well. And I think I really like that the energy all of us have. It's really motivating for me, especially for the regions that you already have an alumni which is cross-boundary, I could say, like India and others. I think I have learned a lot from you guys. This will help, especially for us in Solomon Islands and Pacific as well, that we can also adopt. We have our challenges as well. For us in the Pacific, we can easily relate to Japan as well because we are islands surrounded by ocean. So we can, the problems we have also, Japan also have those problems as well. So thank you so much for all the contributions you shared. I have learned a lot from you all. Talking about the future, I think the Alumni Association in Solomon Islands for the ex-Japan scholars, there is a lot that we can do as well. At the moment, we only focus on education. Our strength is on education at the moment, because we see that this is one of the area that is easy to influence the society through the education. So we target the university at the moment. We target the schools because the future of the country in Solomon Islands is in high schools. So if we instill values about Japan, the importance of Japan, the importance of global citizens that can able to live peacefully like other countries, it's in the high school as well. And for Solomon Islands, we also understand that the brain trust of Solomon Islands is at the university as well. So if we're able to influence at that level, that can help to make collaborations between Japan and Solomon Islands as well. So a lot of good things can be said at that level. Also in people-to-people level, we can also have ways to also dialogue as well or develop as well. I was really, especially from the talk given by Papua New Guinea friend here, that they usually collect the remains of Japanese soldiers fallen during the World War II. In Solomon Islands, we also have that kind of association as well. But we do it in some of my friends, they do it in their own accords, meaning to say that they feel like this is the a way that they should give back to Japan. So they have been doing that in their own ways, at their own capacity and at own resources as well. So it's very, very encouraging. And I have learned a lot from Mr. Ombosan about how he also conduct his association in Papua New Guinea as well. I think for me, the interest to move the Alumni Association in Solomon Islands become re-emphasized or strengthened here. So after going back to Solomon Islands, I will go back to the Japanese embassy in Solomon Islands and discuss with the staff there how we can, and then I might call the members as well, and we can able to plan how we should do our activities for this year and as well as next year. I think this is very, very important to maintain the work that we have been initiated throughout the years. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much.
リンドさんありがとうございました。それではまず、オンラインで参加されている方の質問から、取り上げたいと思います。
ガボンのナタリーさんからの質問です。オンボさんに対する質問です。英語で読み上げます。I like the idea of speech context in Japanese and another language as well. But here is my question is, in such case, do the speech context, maybe a theme or topic, remain focused on culture? What about speech context? So what could be the topic of speech contest?
Thank you. Thank you for your question from Gabon. And yes, the topic will be, several points would be, topic points will be raised, put up. I cannot do it, alone by myself, but we have coordinators. We will put the questions up. And of course, it has to be realistic, reasonable, relevant questions. It can be, of course, related to the top piscine in PNG, because that's what she's asking for. Yeah. So, and of course, we want to know, how good these Japanese speakers would be. So it will vary from from culture or from the language, or general. It can be on business related questions also. So it can be on any point as long as it's relevant, and then the speakers can be able to present themselves in the given time. Yeah. I hope I answered that question. Thank you.
はい、ありがとうございました。それでは、対面で参加されている方からご質問がありましたらお願いします。はい、アシャクさんどうぞ。
Not a question, sir. It's in continuation of the question earlier asked about the topic of the speech contest. I think the topic for the last 30 years we have been conducting, basically we want to encourage people to express their own thoughts in Japanese. So we say, you just speak your own thoughts, whatever you wish to speak in Japanese, except politics and religion. So we leave the topic open to the individual, because then his own feelings can be expressed better. So that is what our experience is. Don't fix the topic. Thank you.
Hi, Lisaさんお願いします。
Well, I have a question and a comment, if it's okay, because yesterday there was no time, so I wanted to ask Solomon Island about the project of, the point of dispatching information back to all education authorities and schools, because, I just was interested in knowing. So it seems like the schools help you to disseminate the information. So I would like to know more about how this is done. Like, do they inform the students directly? Do they make like a session, especially for that, or in the classrooms? And then I also would like to comment about the interest of Jason in starting like an integration in your region. So AMEC would be very happy to help you with the process, because we started in Latin America. So we could share with you like the steps that we follow and what is needed, like in terms of materials and also, of course, in human resources. And our general guideline is in Spanish, but we can start working in an English version. So we share it with you. And I think that to have an English version will be, we could help more people outside Latin America, so we could start doing that. And we also offer to have like an online session, for questions and of course you will need to adapt everything to your conditions and situation, but if it is helpful for you, we are more than happy to help you in this process.
That would be absolutely wonderful. We had you in mind when we were discussing this, but knowing how much you're doing, especially knowing how much your communications team is doing, we were a bit hesitant to to ask. So we very much appreciate your offering that, and we will take you up on that offer. as long as we're not, being too burdensome in asking you, for translations of documents, etc., etc.
It's okay. We are very happy to do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
はい、それじゃあ、小石さんお願いします。
Okay, thank you very much. Yes,
The answer from Solomon Island.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Luisa, for your question. For Solomon Islands, what the Alumni Association did was that we recognize the education authorities in Solomon Islands. Schools in Solomon Islands are operated by authorities. So, like national schools, it's operated by the national government. There are schools that are operated by provincial government as well. They have their own education authorities as well. Even the church, like Anglicans, Catholic, Seventh-day Adventists, they run school in Solomon Islands as well. And then we have the private, they also run schools as well. So we use those authorities, give them the information, and because they have the channel to disseminate all this information to their schools. So that's how we disseminate those information. So we do it prior to the when we launch or when the scholarship or whatever information is being launched. We also go there and give those information, and they will help us to disseminate because we don't have the resources to go to the provinces. Solomon Island is scattered, so we use those channels to assist us to disseminate the information. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, actually, in speech contest, we see two things. One thing is the capability or ability to speak in Japanese language. And another thing, actually, what is the language? Language is nothing but use some meaningful words. So if somebody know the language of some country or someone, then they're easy to understand their cultural activities and other activities as well. But for Bangladeshis, the students who are really interested to study in Japan, so if we know the level of their that means speaking ability in Japanese, that is the main one. What they learned by seeing the Japanese film, drama, manga, this and that. On the other hand, when we arrange the speech contest, that means Bengali speech contest for Japanese, in the same way, we see their communication level with the root level people, how they are doing their activities, because most of the Japanese are doing as a voluntary work. So this is the way we do our activities. Thank you very much.
はい、ありがとうございました。他に、はい、どうぞ。
Thank you. Just on the point about communication in schools, I'm not sure about other countries, but I'm pretty sure in Western countries they all have what they call career guidance counselors. So these are people who work in schools whose job it is to help the students decide what jobs they will have or what careers they will follow. And communicating with those people and building relationships with those people can be a very powerful way to get students to be made aware of opportunities to go to university or to study overseas. So just wanted to say thank you very much.
はい、ありがとうございました。他にご質問はありますでしょうか。ご質問がなければ、次へ移らせていただきたいと思います。次は、北米となりますが、発表いただくのはカナダのナタリアさん、そしてアメリカのジョンさんのお二人お願いしたいと思います。まず、カナダのナタリアさんからよろしくお願いします。
ありがとうございます。皆さんおはようございます。まずは、外務省の方にこのような充実した実りのあるプログラムを実施していただきまして誠にありがとうございました。まだ終わりではないですけれどもそして言うまでもなくいろんな国から集まってきた 参加者の皆さんとお知り合いになりましてお話しすることができて、とてもありがたく思っております。自分の留学の時代のことを思い出しました。東京学芸大学で留学生科というデパートメントがありまして、留学生がみんな集まって来るところなんですけれども、今回も同じような思い出で嬉しいです。このようなモメンタムを使いまして、カナダに帰ってきて、いろいろ、特に私たちの団体の帰国留学生会の自立に向けて強い基盤を作りまして、これから組織として活動していくためには頑張りたいという強い気持ちがありまして、皆さんのアイデアも力になると思います。で、持って帰るいくつかの点がありますけれども、その中にはもう本日皆さんからもコメントがありましたけれども、特に高校生を対象にした活動ですね。私が代表するケベック州、フランス語のカナダの州なんですけれども、教育制度は少し違いまして、高校からすぐ大学には行かずに、セジェップという、まず教育機関がありまして、あそこで勉強しなければならないですけれども、なので、ケベック州では高校だけではなくて、このようなセジェップ、カレッジにも力を入れたら、効果があるのではないかと思います。そしてもう一つの学んだ重要な点としては、もっとソーシャルメディアを使って情報を発信していくということですね。私たちは今まで、イメールを使った情報発信、そして Facebook のプライベートページしか使っていなかったですけれども、皆さんのプレゼンテーションではいろんなインスタグラムとか、TikTok まで使ってらっしゃる国もありますけれども、それもちょっと勉強したいなと思いました。そしてもう一つはですね、カナダ国内の4つの団体との連絡、協力、交流、それは少し抜けているところだと思うんですけれども、これからもっと近い関係を作りまして、交流していきたいと思います。カナダに帰ってきて、団体のメンバーたちと今回学んだことをシェアして、そして総領事館にも報告したいと思います。そして皆さんとも今回はさようならと言わずに、何らかの形でコンタクトを保ちたいと思いますので、よろしくお願いいたします。ありがとうございました。
はい、ナタリアさんありがとうございました。それでは、ジョンさんお願いします。
ありがとうございます。おはようございます。とても刺激的な3日間で、様々な感想や反省があって、申し訳ないですけど、英語で話させていただきます。It's been so stimulating to be with so many of you from so many different countries and continents and hear about your MEX scholar networks. And it's made me wonder, why is the U.S. behind your countries? This is our first time participating, and the U.S.-Japan alliance is so important, right, in the world, in Asia, in the United States, and you would think we would have had a network for a long time that's already developed. And I think part of it is that we have a really vast array of Japan specialists, people from Japan. We have 500,000 Japanese living in the United States. Born in Japan, we have 1 million Japanese Americans, 30 million Asian Americans. It's a very complex environment, people who specialize in business, the military, diplomacy, education. And so it's there are many different networks, right, for us to plug into, but also carve our own area. And I think that most MEC scholars in the United States really are grateful to Japan, the government of Japan, the people of Japan, for their learning experience, their good experience, their education here. And they do want to both pay back and pay forward to other Americans who will have that experience. And we are definitely the Shinnichiha, right? Along with many other people. And yet it's not the mainstream. You know, the Americans who are focused on Europe or Anglo-American world are certainly perhaps still dominant, and Japan is different. In fact, I think even though the US is so multicultural, Japan plays a really important role for Americans in appreciating different cultures, histories, and values, and balancing some of what I see as a kind of extremism in the USA. In fact, while Japan and the US both value liberal democracy, it is eroding, right? And it's so important for us to understand the rest of the world. And I think Japan is a good portal or gateway to that, to Asia in particular, Asia, East Asia, but the non-Western world as well. And that to me is what makes Americans being educated in Japan and living in Japan so valuable. And in my case, so I'm an education specialist, so I pick up on that maybe more than other things like technology or development or business. And the briefings on Monday were so interesting to me from MEXT and JASO and Japan Foundation. I really think the government of Japan's goal to globalize its education even more than, in the past decade, there were lots of initiatives and goals, but it seems more serious right now. And I think there's a lot of opportunity to do research and collaborate. I would like to do that personally, but also if more Japanese students come to America, I want to help them through our networks, help them settle in and have a good experience there. Same with the Americans who will come here. I have a Japan adjacent career, so I'm not, a specialist in it. And in some ways that's good. I can be neutral. I can be just a mentor and a guide. I want to help the next generation of Japan specialists or just people interested in Japan continue these networks, although I'm so impressed by Ashok and Tony. Maybe I'll do this until I'm 80 or something too. So I've got maybe 20 or more years. I do think that having Japan, the government of Japan, succeed in this effort is really important for the US as well in its own diplomatic goals. And so when the Japanese government is helping your countries, with education and development and technology transfer, it's also a win-win for the United States, given how important our relationship is. So these are things I will take back to, networks in Washington, D.C. and the United States about this. So thank you very much.
はい、ジョンさんありがとうございました。それでは、ナターリアさんとジョンさんの2人について、ご質問あればお願いします。はい、アショクさんどうぞ。
John, thank you very much for this dimension which you've added, which was missing so far in our discussions. I think for many of us, Japan is so special, not in terms of only bilateral relation between India and Japan, but I think in terms of, as you rightly said, John, a connecting link between the West and the East. Is such a strong connecting link, and we are fortunate that we have been given opportunity of acquiring a deeper understanding of this country. All of us, especially in the Asian region, speak English. So inherently we have been tuned through the language to the West a lot. So we are very few precious people, if I may myself say that, who have the background of the West from the language English, and we have been given an opportunity of understanding Japan. So this bridge, as you mentioned, John, I think needs to be consciously cultivated. I mean, it's happening here, but I think we should recognize that this is happening and we should build on it. So thanks very much, John. It's been a very perceptive intervention from you. Thank you.
はい、ありがとうございました。他に、
I'm glad that what I was trying to convey, I think you really got, and it would be great if the government of Japan articulates that kind of strategy. I mean, I don't want to tie it to military and things like that, but I really want, Japan is a great intermediary or bridge among different parts of the world, and so I think it's really valuable all around. And if there's a way to, like, if you can make clear the role of Americans in supporting a network that is very global and can help human development around the world, not military power, not economic business power, but human development. It would decided to wear my SDG pin because I really think the social development goals that the Japanese government and the United Nations support are really valuable, and in the United States, they're not thought about or recognized as much. So anyway, I wanted to say that.
はい、ありがとうございました。はい、ナタリアさんお願いします。
Yes, I would just like to add one comment that we, as former students in Japan, we are also, maybe agent is not a good word, but we are those people who can also contribute a lot, not only for promoting scholarships and programs, but also for building very good bilateral relationship at our level, in our small steps, in our everyday life. Even when we are interpreting, translating, or talking to our friends, or at our workplace, we are all conveying this message from our perspective, but from Japan as passionate lovers of Japan, right? So I think we have this mission. We have to be conscious about that.
はい、ありがとうございました。それではクリスチャンさんどうぞ。
Yes, I would like to add a comment about education in primary and secondary school. I think we are all former students of the research student program, but we don't have to forget that we have also former students of the teacher training program. I don't know if that program exists in your countries, but those people that come in Japan for studying about education in Japan, they are obliged to go back to their own country. They cannot stay in Japan. They are obliged to go back to work at primary and secondary schools. So it's really important that we as alumni association stay in contact with them because they are working at schools and they are spreading Japanese culture in those schools. And some of them work in the capital, some others work in rural areas. So that it's also a way to try to spread the programs or spread Japanese culture in the schools through them. We don't have to forget about them.
はい、ありがとうございました。それでは、この総括セッション最後のパートへ移りたいと思います。最後に発表いただくのは、アルゼンチンのクリスチャンさん、ブラジルのパウラさん、コロンビアのマウリシオさん、そしてメキシコのルイサさんの、4人の方々です。それではまず、アルゼンチンのクリスチャンさんお願いします。
はい、おはようございます。まず、外務省の皆様、この素晴らしい第4回帰国留学生総会を、開催してくださり、感謝、改めて感謝申し上げます。本総会を通じて、皆様の帰国留学生会の発表、を、聞くことができて、特に中南米を代表しているメキシコおよびコロンビア、または
ブラジルの帰国留学生会の運営、活動、またその活動の成果について伺うことができて大変勉強になりました。さらに、地域別セッションで、有意義な意見交換もできました。その結果としては、お互いの帰国留学生会における取り組み及び課題は似たようなものであることに気づきました。しかし、中南米の中のそれぞれの地域により、それぞれの国の地理的位置、経済、文化、そして日本との経済学術的な関係は異なるため、帰国留学生会が担っている課題への対応には、また異なったアプローチが必要であることに気づきました。アルゼンチンは日本から最も離れている国であり、大西洋を対面しているため、歴史的にずっと欧米を見ているわけです。その上、アルゼンチンの背中、後ろには、アンデス山脈という大きくて高い壁があるから、アルゼンチンの国民にとって日本は未だに遠くて不思議な国であり、観光スポットとして面白いけど、それ以上日本への関心や交流にあまり関心を寄せません。アルゼンチンの企業や、教育機関でも同様の姿勢が見られるため、留学を修了し、アルゼンチンに戻る数多くの帰国留学生は、日本との関係のない仕事をして、だんだん残念ながら日本とのつながりが弱くなってしまう傾向が見られます。でも、日本大使館及びアルゼンチンにおける日系社会とともに、アルゼンチンメキシ帰国留学生会もできる限りそれを変えようとして、様々な取り組みに力を入れてきています。そして、本総会で皆様の帰国留学生会の素晴らしい活動の話に刺激を受けて、さらに様々なイニシアティブに取り組んで、帰国留学生と日本との関係を強化していきたいと思います。メキシコ、そしてコロンビアの帰国留学生会が実施した中南米帰国留学生総会のおかげで、アルゼンチン帰国留学生会のようなまだ中南米総会を主催していない帰国留学生会にとっても非常に貴重なイベントになりました。なぜかというと、中南米総会のフォーラム及びジンポジウムに参加する留学生を呼びかけるためには、ある程度の組織化が必要であったし、その面でまだ弱い帰国留学生会はその機会を利用して、組織化に力を入れて、メキシコとコロンビア主催中南米総会に貢献することができました。アルゼンチン帰国留学生会も来年あるいは再来年中南米総会を実施できるよう頑張っていきたいと思います。皆さんありがとうございます。
はい、ありがとうございました。次にブラジルのパウラさん、お願いいたします。
So I would like to start thanking for Japan, for the people of Japan, specifically the taxpayers, for all this opportunity that we have been given from the starting of the scholarship that we got, right, for the research scholarship until now and this event. And it's very important to have these on-site meetings because it helps establishing this people-to-people relation. And it's not only about these meetings that we are recording here, also the chats that we have outside and the parallel chats, they are very enriching also. So I got to learn closer from my colleagues here that the importance of and how really strong it is the building of relations among people from for example some testimonials of colleagues in laboratories that were working and studying together, meanwhile their countries were in war, one against the other. So this is so important to promote the peace and understanding. And especially from Japan, what we can get from it is that we can learn from everybody, from every country, and incorporate some knowledge and some behaviors and some values, but without having to give up your kernel. So Japanese are very special for not giving up their kernel, although they incorporate, for example, hambago, hambaga, and so on in so many ways. And this is so beautiful. Still about the gains from these experiences with scholarship and learning values, in some abstract terms, if we consider that we applied for scholarship here in Japan, it's because we believed that it somehow would push us bring us upper. So I would like to quote Leonardo da Vinci with some very special words. He who has once in the heights will now go around the world looking up at the sky, wishing to return to it. So while we are doing our activities back in our countries, it's as like we were kind of reviving some experiences that we had here and sharing all this knowledge so that, for example, the next exchange students would be able to take even more from that. So this is a very strong motivation that I carry with myself and I would like to share with you. And I believe that most of us feel the same way. About some practical things now, I would like to recover the comments about the online participant about publishing the article, right? So I would like Jason-san just extend a bit the request, maybe. If we could ask you to provide a platform where we can publish these articles, the alumni articles about relationship between countries, not only alumni, right? The specialists, and also through this platform to have explicit links to our associations, institutionality. Because I think that this background of having explicit link between Gaimosho and Max and our associations would give us some, I would say, kind of political influence and power in our society so that we could act more strongly in some areas. And particularly about what I learned from our sessions, also with Japan Foundation and with Max and Gaimosho. I think that it was very important to have updated this notion of the Japanese agenda, that not only to have the students constructing bridges between the countries, but now there's this interest to have the excellent students work here. So I understand that we will have some support to try to find this way for them to be allocated in the Japanese market after conclusion of their scholarship. Back to Brazil, I feel very relieved to learn from several colleagues that we are not alone in the situation of having few active members. And also together with that, I was very happy to learn from Mexico that we still have some hints to follow to convert this number to a bigger number so that people don't get overburned. So this is very important because not getting overburned allows us to take part in more activities and more collaborations and so on, especially in Latin America, where we have a closer relation. And I think that for my association, I think that the first steps should be to think in the structure. So to gather more youth, we should try to promote more youth-related cultural events and work together with the embassy to sow the seed of motivation to engage in the Alumni Association after scholarship by setting up those meetings just before the exchange students leave to Japan, so that we already create this relationship before they even start the exchange. And from Argentina, Bangladesh, Solomon Islands, and other colleagues to reach further and to early grades of students and try to help them with study groups in preparation for the selection tests that we agreed they are very different from our systems, especially in math. That was the discussion in the previous sections. So we could help this preparation, and since we approach the students in high school or fundamental school, they will have the time to bring some maturity to that choice of applying for Japan, and also to prepare better themselves so that they can make it at the selection test. So thank you very much. I have learned a lot, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity.
はい、ありがとうございました。それでは次にコロンビアのマウリシオさんお願いします。
Thank you. Well, I want to join everybody in thanking the Minister of Foreign Education in their work creating these links between the associations, global associations. That's very helpful. We are getting a lot of insights to go back home and apply them in growing our own associations, and that is very important for us. Thank you very much. Well, I have some commitments to go back home. One of them is together with Ameg to try to grow and to continue with the momentum we have. You mentioned the momentum, Natalia, and that's very important. We do have a momentum right now, especially in Latin America, because we had just 1 month ago the second forum, and having this activity just 1 month after creates a sort of energy around it. And we need to keep working on that so that we continue with this purpose and support the other countries that are going to help this third forum. And that's one commitment we do have to follow. We also have learned from every experience you have and the problems you have that are very similar to what we have back in Colombia. We will expect to have a strategy around involving more people in the work of the association, and also involve generational change. That is something that is going to help us to create more momentum in our activities. And I have to say also, we will not lower our hands in working in inclusion. This is something very important for us. And if we see here now, we are more than 20 people, are only 4 women, and that's not the world. The world is different. So I think we have to keep working on that, and we will not lower our hands in this commitment back home. And I want to say give my appreciation for all of you. We learned a lot of things from every one of you, and I will try to bring all those knowledge and experiences and sentiments back home. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。それでは最後にメキシコのリサさんお願いします。
Good morning, everyone. Well, first, I also want to thank the Japanese government and MOFA especially, from me and also from the whole organization in Mexico, for giving us the opportunity to be here, sharing ideas, experiences, and learning a lot from other associations around the world, but also learning from the Japanese government. I particularly found extremely helpful the brief sessions with JASO, MOFA, and MEXT. First, because it is very important for us to be informed about the different policies so we can be aligned with them and try to help to the extent of our efforts and experiences, but try to help from our different countries to achieve those goals. But also it was for me, very warm to see how passionate every presenter was about their work and how much they want really to help us and to help former students and to help students who are coming to Japan, to give them the resources and make their experience more enjoyable and also easier. And also it was very rewarding that they are so aware about many projects that we have in Mexico with Japan Foundation or JASO. So yeah, thank you very much. I really think that session was extremely helpful for all of us. And about all what we have as an association and me, what we got from these 2 very intense days of exchanging ideas. Well, first, I would like to recognize and validate the work that has been done for 3 decades in Mexico, right, by all our senpai, especially the work done during the generational transition in the last 10 years, that we can now see that after many adaptations and struggles, seems to be going well and for better. In these 2 days, we could reaffirm how important it is to let young leaders to manage with all their energy and fresh ideas the projects that we have. But also, it is very important for our senior leaders to be honored by listening to their advices and experiences. And in general, to value all our members across generations and of course, as also Mauricio said, across genders, right, between male and female members that integrate our associations, because one of our goals is to let them all shine, because if they all shine, our association is gonna be thriving with them too. We still, as an association, of course, have many challenges. Inside our organization, we need better strategies to increase the number of active members who contribute with their time and knowledge with the organization. And I think this challenge was raised by many other participants. Paula also mentioned this. And actually, yesterday, Christian for Argentina shared with us some ideas of what activities they have done in Argentina to increase the number of members who are actually participating, and how to get some budget from the Japanese embassy. It was his example, because I think also our associations struggle not just with doing activities, but with getting the budget to actually be able to manage those activities. So it was pretty helpful. And we also need to work in promoting Japanese universities and research activities in Japan, in Latin America. So the knowledge and work of our former students is recognized and looked at, right, by other stakeholders who are not necessarily involved in the relation between Mexico and Japan. So I think this is also a challenge that we share with other countries in Latin America that might be not that important in Asia, because I think in Asia, Japanese universities and research efforts are very known already and very famous. But that we still have to work a lot and to put together efforts so they are better known in our region. Also, the relation between Mexico and Japan keeps deepening, right? Now there are around 1,200 Japanese companies in Mexico, and the number is growing. And also Japan is our second partner for agricultural products. We export a lot to Japan. So the role of AMEG is becoming more and more vital to open opportunities for our members and also for the Mexican society in general. Also, it is very important for Japanese stakeholders who are interested in having a deeper understanding of the Mexican society. So, with all these challenges that we have ahead, we are always happy to share materials, ideas, practices, but most important, we would like to hear or keep hearing your voices, your concerns, and the key practices that you think that can help us to become a more effective and sustainable association. So in order to keep moving forward, we appreciate also the goodwill coming from all of you, especially from our colleagues from Latin America. Our association in Mexico has reached an important level of autonomy. And we think that many of our members already know how to navigate different layers of the cultural diplomacy between Mexico and Japan, and this experience can be also shared with other countries in Latin America. But of course, we still have a lot to learn. We admire the example of the years of integration from ASEAN countries, for example, because they have a way more experience than us in that aspect. And of course, certain practices from other associations that we did not think about before, and that we also learned from these sessions. But in behalf of the association, I can say that we keep finding reasons, right, to keep striving for more. And we also feel a lot of responsibility to support our fellows in Latin America that actually are willing or were willing already, like Colombia, to absorb the large projects that we have in mind, especially the Latin American Forum every year. So we hope that we can have the vote of trust from Latin America and also of MOFA to allow us to lead the path for our regions towards the integration of our confederation, that we hope it is like better established in the near future. And as I just said, AMEG is willing to share our experience, knowledge, and tools that we use to start the integration process in Latin America with any other region who might be interested in starting their own integration process. But we also would like to propose not just the integration of each region, but the integration within regions, because we hope this becomes another achievement of this meeting. In Mexico, we feel like we are a family with the Mexican Mex students, and now we feel like we are a family with the Latin American ones. So we hope that we can organize collaborations between our countries and between our regions. So the networks are not just limited between Mexico and Japan or between Latin America, but probably, I don't know, if we hold an event in Latin America, we can have some participation from Oceania or from Eastern Europe. So that would be very interesting, that we show to the world that the impact of Japan goes beyond our country and it goes beyond our region, and our students are being successful all around the world. Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, どうもありがとうございました。積極的に発言していただきまして、会議を企画しました私たちからも感謝いたします。いろいろと今まで発言いただいたことにつきましては、これから私たちが帰国留学生会の活動、帰国留学生会との協力を考えていく上でも、十分参考にさせていただきたいと思います。 引き続き私たちも皆さんが活発に活動していただけるように、できるところは協力させていただきたいと思いますので、各国お帰りになられたら何かもしご意見等あれば大使館や総領事館の方にもご相談いただければと思います。先ほど具体的に出ました、地域別のオンラインの交流会ですとか、それから皆さんの活動をシェアするためのプラットフォームですとか、どういった形でそのグッドプラクティスをシェアしたらいいかというのも今後また考えていく必要があると思いますので、一緒に議論していきたいと思います。今日は最後のこのパートについては、残念ながらちょっと時間の関係で質疑応答できませんけれど、もしそれぞれいろいろとご意見、質問、コメントあれば個別にでもまた続けていただきたいと思いますし、今日は午後のASEAN とのセッションもありますので、そちらの機会に意見交換していただいても良いかと思います。最後に英語でもちょっとThank you 言わせていただきたいと思いますけど、I highly appreciate your active participation in this meeting. We are so glad to hear that each of you got various new ideas from the other participants. We are also happy to learn that this conference, or it seems like this conference has fostered momentum for your future activities as well as ours. Your discussion has been very encouraging for us when we consider our future cooperation with your alumni associations. Thank you very much. どうもありがとうございました。それではこれをもちまして、第4回帰国留学生総会を閉会したいと思います。最後になりますが、オンラインで視聴されている皆さんを含め、お仕事ある中、お忙しい中、また、時差がある中、ご参加いただき誠にありがとうございました。また、こういった会議で皆さんと、それからオンラインで参加されている方々も含めてお会いできる機会がありますことを願っております。どうもありがとうございました。オンラインの方もおられますので、最後に手を振ってお別れしたいと思います。ありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。